I do want to bring in national security expert Jeremy Bash. He has decades of experience in this field, serving as the former chief of staff to the director of the CIA and the Secretary of Defense. Jeremy, I thank you for joining Top Story. I know here you're going to be speculating, but I do want to ask you, because you've been in these situations, quite literally in the Situation Room, or at least the men you worked for. I want to ask, what do you think happened here? Why do you think the president has put out this 2-week timeline, what it means?
I think he needs more time. I think this probably means he's leaning against direct U.S. military involvement. He said in the statement that his press secretary read that he wants to give negotiations a chance. He wants to see whether or not Iran will grab an opportunity to cut a deal. And so I think the president strongly prefers that. He doesn't want to feel rushed into deploying the U.S. Air Force into this theater. I think he also wants to give Israel a little more time to soften up air defenses, maybe to conduct some special operations of their own on the ground near or around that Fordo enrichment facility. He certainly wants another couple of days to get U.S. forces in position. The second carrier strike group that's moving to the Middle East won't be there for about another week or so.
So, Jeremy, you have all this bombing over 7 days, right? And if we do cut a deal with Iran, we're essentially at the same point we were several years ago. And I guess my question is, what do you think the end game for Israel and the U.S. has been here? Because if the Ayatollah is still in power and they're still enriching uranium, but maybe not to a weapons grade, what did we learn from this exercise?
It all depends on the details. I mean, I think if a deal can be cut that would prohibit Iran from enriching uranium, that's the bomb fuel, enriching it on Iranian soil, that's a far better deal than the deal that the Obama administration cut in 2015. Whether or not the Trump administration could get that, now basically backed up by military force by Israel and the threat of military force by the United States, we don't know. I mean, I think if the U.S. could get that deal, Trump would say to Bibi Netanyahu, the Israeli prime minister, we should take it and declare victory.
Do you think
however, Iran insists on enriching domestically, then it's a question about whether or not we will have truly achieved our objectives.
And then do you think the missile strikes have sort of influenced, if you will, the Ayatollah and the Iranian leadership to maybe cut that deal?
Well, I think certainly Israel's dominance of the airspace, the Ayatollah knows his back is against the wall. I think the missile strikes by Iran against Israel showcase that Iran does have some capability. They may not be able to sustain it for very long, but if they're hitting hospitals and civilian areas, they know that Israel is feeling the pressure as well.
Do you think this sort of sows some distrust, even more distrust between the Iranian people and the Ayatollah? Regime change is the ultimate goal for Israel. They've put that out there. Bibi Netanyahu made that appeal to the Iranian people when the bombs started. The U.S. would back that as well. They would appreciate that move. It's been so hard. There's been some uprisings in Iran, but they've always been able to sort of squash them. What do you think happens in the near future?
It cuts both ways. I think if the supreme leader and the leadership of the Iranian regime is shown to be weak, then it could embolden opposition forces. But sometimes when your country is attacked, you also kind of rally around your country and the government. So it could cut both ways. I just want to say that there have been regime changes in the Middle East in recent years. Syria, Assad fell, left the country. And we saw the same thing happen in 2011 in both Tunisia and Egypt, where the leadership was toppled. So it's not impossible, but it really tends to happen organically. If it happens, if it's going to be a success, if it's going to really work for the people of that country, it has to happen organically. It can't come from the outside, as we painfully learned in the example of the Iraq War.
Yeah, it took massive demonstrations in some of those countries and a civil war in the other. But yeah, I see your point. Jeremy, we appreciate having you on the show. Back here at home.